what is the measure of being a good man? I mean, what even is a good man in actuality? People always tell you to be a good boy when you're little. Good doesn't mean good, really. That's just to follow rules, to not question what other people tell you to do. But what if what they tell you to do isn't the right thing to do? They tell you to love who they love, scold who they scold, hate who they hate. They don't want you to be good. They want you to listen to what they have to say and follow it to the letter. Well, to that, I say to hell with being good. Being good is about doing what you want to do, loving who you want to love, and seeing the world like it is a blossoming of all that is beautiful. If you cannot blossom, the least you can do is act like blossoming is the most filthy thing that has ever existed, and then destroy it.
Dark, what the hell? You know how angry Mom will get if she sees you smoking in the house. But why does she even let you stay here anymore?
She'd rather see her baby waste his time at home than waste away on the streets.
But doesn't she ever try to get you out of the house? To find a job or anything?
Of course, how else do you think I would have gotten hold of these? Whoa, come on, man! Oh, ease up a tiny bit. Look, crawl up your ass.
I'm sorry if I don't know the difference between being cautious and being high-strung. Maybe it's because I've been out of the loop for almost a decade. It's not the same in there, Darb. You don't know how much I suffered.
What, did they not have specially loomed 100% artisan hand towels like you're used to? Pansy.
I'm not having another discussion like this. I snapped, got thrown in there, and I was hoping, maybe after 10 years of only hearing me over the phone, you'd be a little happier to see me.
Milo, honey, you know I'm happy to see you. You've only been back for what, 2 weeks? Give me a little time to adjust. This is just how us older brothers are, don't you remember? It's like when we were young and I'd tackle you in bed when you wouldn't wake up in time. It's for your own good.
I guess you're right. Come here.
There's the brother I know. Love, come on, unwind, relax for a while. You've been like one of those cymbal monkeys that give you nightmares.
Please don't mention the cymbal monkey.
Yes.
It's just really difficult coming back after 10 years. Almost no connection to the outside world. When I started out that stint, I wasn't even legally old enough to drink. Can you believe I lost a third of my life being stuck inside 4 stone walls with the only light shining through a little vulgar circle?
You're exaggerating. I've seen what prisons look like. You get to go outside and work in the greenhouse and stuff.
It's about the feeling, Darb. The feeling of separation from anyone you ever felt safe around. Surrounded instead by people who treat you like a sack of meat. The isolation may be in your head, but it's very real. You have to go through it to understand.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
You'll know when you experience it firsthand.
You know, it's funny. I remember once when I was 15, I overheard Mom discuss with her drinking friends over which of their children would most likely go to jail.
Yeah? What did they say? Me. Looks like they were wrong about that, too.
You know, I bet some of the guys would be happy to see you after all these years.
God, those guys. I can't even remember their faces at this point. But how have they been doing?
Well, they're like a bag of trail mix. Once in a while you get something nice, but in the end they're all nuts.
Whatever happened to old Timothy?
Oh boy, Tim. The dude was found stark, raving insane in his basement after no one contacted him for like 3 years.
Wow. But weren't he and Sarah engaged when I left?
What do you think drove him over the edge? Oh, and don't even talk about what happened with Lauren.
Why? What happened?
She became a lawyer.
Very funny, Darb.
What can I say? I make people laugh. So?
And what about Josie?
Ah, yes, Josie. Your old flame. The Nancy to your Sid. The Bonnie to your Clyde. Your girlfriend. She hooked up with this foreign exchange student at our college named Petier. I don't know, he was from the Ukraine. They hooked up and ended up getting married a year later. I think they live in Wisconsin now.
Oh. Good for her, I guess. You excited for today?
What's that?
You don't remember?
Should I?
Darb, Today's the day Dad said he's coming back.
Oh, yeah. Wait, oh my God, are you serious? Today? Today's the day.
Isn't the letter he sent last month somewhere around here? Check into the magazines.
Oh, hey, found it. And yes. Dear Jacqueline, I'm sorry for the last 17 years. There's no excuse for what I did, and I've come to amend my mistakes. I'm flying in on July 20th at 12 p.m. I hope you will be home. I don't want to wait any longer than I have to. Can't wait to see how Darby, Milo, and little baby Amber have all grown up. Please forgive me. I'll see you soon. Much apologies. Edmund Dent.
Wow.
Yeah, not exactly master poets.
Come on, he's our dad. He's sorry for being gone for almost 20 years. He wants to make amends. To right his wrongs.
I bet Mom's excited.
I'm sure she's just longing to jump back into his arms after years of screaming for his head and threatening to make his skin into a burlap sack. She must be livid.
Those creative writing classes really helped her let off a little steam, huh? You know, she's been talking about him less since you left.
I just hope we get to see his face before she slices it into mincemeat pie.
Whoa, did she really say that?
That's the cleaned up version.
Well, whatever. Mom better not make me look bad in front of Dad.
Please, a burnout who sits at home all day complaining about the man, he's gonna love you just fine.
Yeah. Whoa, hey!
Shh. You hear that? Wobbling, stamping, slightly drunk. 5, 4, 3, 2, Mom! So how'd you sleep?
Kenny, sack of gangrene.
How'd you sleep, Mom?
Fantastic, sweetie. How about you?
About as well as I can, seeing how this couch is older than me. Oh, so you excited?
Mom, you look dead tired. How about you go make some coffee?
Sure, fine. Whatever makes you happy, Otis.
It's Milo! She's gone.
What the hell was that about?
Darb, we can't just immediately drop her into this. I'm pretty sure that she drank herself silly last night to forget any of this was even happening.
Right.
We were talking about this 2 minutes ago.
So, wait a bit?
At the very least, a bit.
Okay. So how long's a bit?
Just follow my lead.
Got it. So, Mom, how about Dad coming back, huh?
I might actually hit you.
Oh yeah, that. It won't be fun seeing him after 17 long years.
Told you wouldn't beat you.
And ripping his throat until last utterance of this lifeless husk emerged from the bowels of his heart.
So how's creative writing going?
Well, I don't need this right now.
Just like you didn't really need me.
What was that?
Nothing. I'm gonna go use the bathroom while we still have time.
Hey, Mom. Why are you acting so weird around Milo recently?
Well, I guess it's just part of the time.
Doesn't matter what time period it is. You don't immediately go aggressive on your own son.
Well, I guess it's just a little weird, you know? It's been a while and it's worrying. I mean, even when he was a kid, something seemed a little weirdly wired in his head. I mean, you never know what he's going to do. Maybe distance will make this work. I mean, we can make this work somehow.
Well, maybe, but I mean, brotherly love, you know? I mean, sure, he makes you want to yell at him and maybe sometimes punch him in the face, but he's still going to be there for him.
I guess. I'd be careful. You never know when he'll blow.
Put a little trust in him.
I'll try.
Should be almost time now, right?
Hopefully, it's getting close to noon.
What time do you think Amber's going to be here?
Well, I told her to be here on 11:50, so she should be here soon, knowing her.
Yup, always a little perfectionist.
Hey, leave your sister alone, okay? Besides, she's done more than you ever have.
Is stuff like that really necessary?
Anyway, I guess I should change.
Mom, why are you just wearing that?
No time for questions, sweetie. Oh, right now. So glad you could come and join us once in a while. Please take your things, sweetie.
Darby, how great it is to see you.
How's it been? Hey, little sis, you know I haven't moved from this couch.
Mom, feels like so long. Oh, the kids.
Oh, Amber, you just cracked me up.
Hey, Amber. How are you?
Today's the day.
It sure is.
And today's the day. Finally, Dad's coming back after so long. Oh, come on, Dad, just get through the door. I'm bored.
Darby, you need to wait. He'll come when he comes, and he'll come soon enough.
Hey, Mom, it's aunt season.
What do you know about your brother's thinking?
Well, I can tell we're all very excited to see Dad coming back after so long, so how about we all make ourselves presentable?
Wonderful idea, Ember. Why don't you two run and put on some nice shirts?
I really don't think that a man who's been gone for 17 years is going to care if we have on our nicest attire.
Milo, you will not talk about your father that way, especially today.
But weren't you the
Don't
one
talk to me like that. It's disrespectful.
Well, at least I know I look good. I'll put myself right about...
Lord, it's almost noon. It's almost time, everyone. Brother's going to be already sickened now. I can almost smell the off-brand alcohol in his breath.
Any second now. I can feel it.
Shut up. He's not coming, and you know it.
You don't know what happened? His plane could have got delayed. Or maybe his car broke down on the way home from the airport. Or maybe he just...
Milo, we know you just love coming up with these magical little stories where everyone is perfect and everything goes exactly how it's planned. And life is wonderful, but that's not what real life is like. Real life is disappointing, especially when it comes to people that you used to love.
But can't you wait at least a little longer? I mean, how would you feel if he got here and we'd already left?
I feel like I finally got what I've been waiting for 17 years.
Come on, Amber. You can stay at least a little longer, right?
Well, I don't have a meeting until 5 tomorrow, so guess I can wait, but you only get 1 hour.
Hopefully that's all we need. Mom, is there any coffee left?
We've been waiting out here for 5 hours, Milo. You take a guess at how much is going to be left.
All I needed was a no.
Listen, I'm going to make some more, okay? Darby, come with me to find a good roast.
So, Amber, how have things been with you?
Oh, you know, just the same as usual, always busy with work, spending most of my time in boardrooms.
Nice.
Milo, if you have something you want to say, just say while sis does too.
It's just really nice to see you after all these years.
Oh, Milo, swear, you know I've missed you so much while you were gone. I would have visited more often, but, you know, schedule conflicts and all that.
But then why are you so awkward towards me when you walked in? I mean, you go straight to Darb and Mom, but all I get was a hi.
Well, it's kind of a long story.
Italian roast is disgusting. Who likes Italian roast?
Italians know what they're doing when it comes to coffee.
I feel like we have time.
It's nothing personal, I promise. I wanted to do everything I could to make sure you were okay. I was always really worried since, well, let's face it, you were never really the toughest of guys, even in your youngest days.
Darby told you the story about when I let a bunch of crows steal my sandwich, didn't he?
I practically have it memorized by now, but that's not the point.
Well, what is it then?
It's just, it's not normal, you know?
What do you mean, not normal?
I mean, you've been gone for so long. I mean, 10 years? The last time I saw you, I was 12 years old. I was just entering middle school. And Darby would talk about you, but Mom? She would give him the stink eye every time he would even begin to say your name. He would go, "My," and she would just go, and that would shut him right up. And at work, it was even worse. They wanted me to forget I even had brothers. Either of you. One a punk and the other a criminal? They didn't approve of that. They used personal and family issues as an excuse to climb over your corpse without guilt. You became a ghost. Someone who used to be there but now left no trace, no history. And now you're back and it's like, what do I do? I'm seeing someone who I wasn't allowed to acknowledge for almost half my life. Can't you understand how that would be difficult? I know this sounds like a cowardly way out of a real explanation, but you have to trust me. I'm being fully honest right now. You believe me, right?
Amber, of course I believe you. I knew I could trust you. But damn, what Mom did? That is just...
Listen, don't let her know I told you that, okay?
You ever seen 12 Angry Men?
No, I can't say
Well,
that.
if you would just pen in the other room just now, you would never need to. You would swear you just saw a minimalist performance of the whole movie. I swear, I have never seen someone get so frustrated over a preferred kind of coffee roast. It's so frustrating. Italian roast is obviously better. And she's trying to tell me it's French. I said, actually, no, it's Italian. And she says, no, you're wrong. We had to go down to the basement storage just to see if we had enough French roast for everyone. And guess what? We don't. She just kept yelling at me, claiming that I hid it last night. I mean, who hides coffee? She's losing her mind more and more every day. It's getting crazy.
When did you see 12 Angry Men?
I have a lot of spare time.
But we don't have a TV.
I know a guy.
Well, you don't leave the house.
As far as you know.
Well, you never...
Oh, quiet, you two. This argument's done, and you both know it.
Fine.
Now what?
Maybe we can pass the time reminiscing about Dad. Don't boost our spirits, right?
Well, I remember Dad. All he would ever do is get drunk and smoke in the little rumpus room in the back of the house, day in, day out. He had a little TV in there, one of those old-fashioned boxes with the rabbit ears and the knobs at the side. All I would ever hear from in there was him yelling about the sleaze and homosexuals on TV. You know, sometimes I'd sit on this couch and wait for hours for him to come out. Needed some interaction with him, even if it was just, you know, him yelling at the way I dressed or the style of my hair. And when he got home from work, it was just straight away to that room, in through that door and out through the other one. Usually Mom would end up having to pick his suit and jacket up off the floor. He would just fling them off like a weight from around his neck. After that, it was only a matter of time before he was yelling at the TV again. That went on up until about the day before he left. You know, I'm pretty sure Mom just went to Home Depot, bought some board nails, and sealed it up from the outside that very night.
Darb, that doesn't sound like Dad at all. I think you're letting your own biases get through.
I have 4 more years to remember this than you, Milo. Don't try to second-guess me on it.
But you're a stereotypical punk, and down to the T. The first time Dad saw you get off that couch and do something in the real world, you were reading beat poetry for your high school talent show about the future of communism and how we should string up our politicians in nooses and hang them over our courthouses. You didn't even get a beat class.
They just didn't get it.
Maybe you don't get the fact that when parents and kids go to the school talent show, they don't want anarchist poetry. What they want is to see little Sally try her best at a recent pop song.
Yeah, and maybe what Dad wanted for this family was for us to stay together and not for little neurotic Milo to go crazy and rob a liquor store for a pack of cigarettes.
I told you we were going to talk about that!
I want to fight right now! Right now!
Hey, get up! Stop! You're both being idiots!
It matters so much to you. Why don't you talk about you think he was like?
With pleasure. When Dad was around, he was the best father a boy like me could ever ask for. Every morning he'd wake me up, make me breakfast, and drive me to school. On those rides, he'd talk about you from even before you were born. Talking about how hopeful he was for you. How he knew you were going to do great things with your life. He was proud of you before he even knew what your name was. And when you weren't around, he'd tell me how he hoped to be the man he always knew he could be. He saw your grades, those times where he would sit you down and make you work or else you wouldn't get dinner. He knew that as soon as you would buckle down and work, you could be the smartest person in the house. After you started ditching school, he'd drive me home, yelling at himself about how he let this happen. He never once blamed you, only himself. Dad loved you. You just never loved him back.
Yeah, maybe he loved you a lot. At least enough to tell you something he would never be able to tell me. It wasn't so clear-cut with me. You know, maybe it was just that I reminded him of his younger, stupider days and it was anger redirected at his son. Besides, you were young, and you'd look up to anyone who'd pat you on the head and tell you that you did well and that you were smart and brilliant. You hide behind these delusions of what you think Dad was like and how he was, because it's the only way for you to cope with the fact that one day Dad got off his chair and never sat in it again.
Well, how do you think I feel? I was 5 years old when he left. I barely got to know the man. Sure, I have vague memories of someone coming home with a suit and briefcase, but he might as well have been a milkman to me. You guys, you had experience with the man. He was either an idol or an obstacle, but to me, he would just pick me up sometimes, toss me in the air, and move on to his coffee. He was a functioning non-entity. Mom was the one who would always have to get me to school on time. Why do you think I'm so close to her? I don't even know why I'm here, to be honest. This is pointless.
You're here because we don't look like a family. How would that reflect on us to him? He'd feel like he tore us apart.
He kinda did.
That's not the point. The point is we all need to be here, or else it doesn't look right. Besides, he probably wants to see you more than any of us. He hasn't seen you since you were 5.
How do you know he'd even be happy with how I've grown up?
Oh, please. You know he'd be happy with anything you did. You were kind of his favorite.
I was 5. Of course he loved me. I didn't do anything to piss him off like you did.
Well, I'm sorry if my lifestyle doesn't go along with your social norms.
Guys, calm down. Mom, what was Dad really like? I mean, I think you knew him better than any of us.
He was a piece of crap stuck to the bottom of my high heel for 18 goddamn years. His leaving was a sidewalk curve I was finally able to scrape him off. He's a little rat that crawled into the sewer of my heart and died. Now, he's a floating clog in the garbage drain of my chest.
Well, that's one take on it.
Mama, why do you constantly defend him? Why do you praise him like he's this great father when all he ever did was drive you to school and leave?
Because he's my dad. You have to love your dad.
No, you don't. Someone's relationship with you doesn't change whether or not they did something wrong. Your opinion on the person doesn't influence what they did.
Maybe I just need some closure on this, okay? All I need is to finally see him, to finally know why he left us. Does this not interest you in any way?
No, not really. I already have a pretty good idea on why he left. He left because you two had burned him out.
How do you know it wasn't your fault? He already had us for 17 years. He only had you for 5.
Well, maybe he was tired of you trying so hard to rebel. That you can't even support this family as the man of the house.
Well, maybe
if you all just shut up! Sorry. I'm tired. We need some scotch.
Sorry, Mom. Calm down.
I doubt it. There. That's much better.
No kidding. I haven't had anything since this morning. Oh, do we have dinner planned?
Well, we were going to wait until your father got here, but now I think that's a lost cause.
Okay, can we stop all the anti-dad crap? I know we're all very stressed, but do you really think any of that will help? Sorry.
Listen, guys. I know we're all very tired and we're all very stressed, but I'm sure if we try to collect ourselves, maybe we can make it through this.
You're right, Amber. We should relax and finish our coffees and... We can do this, kids. We just need to calm ourselves.
Okay, what Amber said.
Do you remember Dad's car?
How could I forget? We used to drive that thing no matter what the situation. I remember when he picked me up to go to prom, he said he would get, as he called it, the sweetest ride in town for me. He rings the bell, I come out in the prettiest dress I can afford, he wears a tux, and what do I see behind him? His beat-up 63 Corvette with a paint faded and a dent in the hood. Now, my father, a proud owner of a Mustang, almost chased him off as soon as he saw it in our driveway. Your grandfather never really did like your dad. He'd always remind him about the greasers he grew up with in the 50s. But your father never really did mind it either way, though. He'd always get a kick out of angering my dad, and he thought of it as a badge of honor. We ran as fast as we could back to the car, but not before my dad could bash it in the trunk with his favorite golf club. I still remember every second of that day. Like a movie you watch too many times. And then less than a year later, Darby, you were born.
God, he loved that car. I remember this one time on the way to school, we get a flat tire. Do you know what Dad does? He drives us to the car shop. He changes the oil, fixes the lights, gets all the scratches buffed out, and finally actually changes the tire. But not before getting every groove cleaned out in the others. By the time we got to school, lunch was already over.
I remember when you finally got rid of that car. You'd finally let me sit in the front seat, and we drove it to the nearest car dealership a few miles out of the city. I'm still confused why you kept it so long after he was gone. You got rid of everything else that reminded you of him a week after he left, but for some reason, you held on to that car for 5 years after he was gone. And I remember you were furious. You acted like that car was your pet fish that we had to flush down the toilet while you were gone.
Finnegan died?
Dude, he was like 10 years old. I'm surprised he lasted that long. I guess you're right. Did I ever tell you what happened at the bank the other day?
No, what happened this time, Darby?
Okay, so I went down to the bank, and I was waiting for this old lady to finally finish at the ATM, when all of a sudden, there's the bank owner throwing out this group of greaser throwbacks from the main building, and then after he throws all of them out, he tosses out this scrawny little kid stuffed inside a leather jacket, a size or two bigger than him, with like band patches all sewn down the side like they were done with one hand. The kid was a mess. Anyway, the other guys start yelling at the kid, saying how it was his fault that they got kicked out. And he's just sitting on the sidewalk crying and bleeding until I come in for the rescue, and I start to wipe the tears and the blood from his face, and I walk him over to a nearby bench. And then, about half an hour later, when he starts reacting to his surroundings, I have him lean on me because, you know, they bashed up his leg pretty bad. But I walk him over to this bar that I know about underneath the subway track. Come on!
Sorry, hon. Your story was getting boring, and we thought a friendly game would help pass the time better.
I hadn't even gotten to the best part yet.
Hey, Darb, is deglutition a real word or not? I'm saying it is, but Mom's saying it isn't.
Who's trying to get the triple word score?
Honestly, there's no way that I could care about this debate.
I'm telling you, it's a real word. Look it up.
Losing this to you, little not.
I really don't think those words are necessary.
Well, maybe if you played fairly, stuff like this wouldn't happen.
Wow, you are all so tense. You need to relax for a second. Just take a minute. Just calm down.
Well, how about you actually realize what situation we're in? We're stuck here waiting for a dad none of us have seen for almost half our lives. We're not even sure he's going to show up. Does one letter even really mean anything? I'm not trying to put any thoughts into your head, but I'm sure nervous about any of this actually happening.
Just have a little faith. Amber, any moment now. Any moment now.
Yeah, I mean, relax for once in your life. Look, you're not even in an office and you're still dressed like you're going to a board meeting. Relax. Take off your jacket for once. Feel the wind on your arms.
Yeah, of course you're going to say that, Darby. Have you ever done a moment to work on your time on Earth? 16 years since high school, and you have a resume shorter than a limerick. Besides, I bet your leather jacket is way stuffier than this blazer.
You want to fight right now?
You know what?
What?
I count on you to fight for what? All that time trying to get people to come and kick your ass? You ready for this?
Hell yeah, come get it!
Guys, come on! This is what we need right now!
Well, just let me at her!
Come here, you punk! I'm not letting this happen!
Quiet, Milo!
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, long story, you will
Give me a hand!
I deserve to get to the right! Help me!
Anyone?
Wait.
Stop!
Hello?
Happy birthday, Belinda!
I think you have the wrong address.
Isn't this 276 Upton Street?
No, 274.
Oh!
Happy birthday! Roll now.
Apparently so.
Get the hell out of my
This is getting ridiculous!
I know!
We don't even have a birthday decoration outside.
What's taking Dad so long? I'm sure by now if he was coming, he would have already been here.
Amber, calm down. Think about like when you go to a social event, like a party. If there's a scheduled time, people won't show up right when the clock hits that time. They might be a few minutes late, or even a few hours.
It's not like we can call him. Mom tore out the landline at last year's Christmas party.
Well, I forgot about that. That was a crazy night.
I don't even think Uncle Jack's allowed in the city anymore.
Now that's it. Oh wait, no. This is about Dad. This isn't a few hours. This is what? 5 hours? 6? I've lost track at this point. I want to leave.
No, Amber. You have to stay. For us. For Mom. She'll snap if you leave.
Fine. For Mom, for us. But 30 minutes, and that's it.
Let's pray that's all we need. Now, let's just sit down, relax. Come on, Darb. Sit up. Coffee's cold. We know, Darb. I think there's some more in the kitchen.
Wait, now we're all out.
Well, then guess we can all just wait.
No! We can't just wait. We wait, we get restless. We get panicked, and we get lost. We start thinking that he's not going to come. And we turn against each other and try to tear each other's throats. We get stuck in circles, and then it becomes a spiral, and then it's a downward spiral. We go down, we get stuck, and we're stuck. We're stuck.
Sit, relax. I'll get you some water.
Okay.
Listen, kids. We're not going to let this happen to us. We're a family, and we should act like one. Especially when we might be having such an important guest coming. If we get lucky.
Maybe it's not coming at all. Maybe this is pointless. Maybe life is hopeless. We die without knowing anything we want to.
Christ, Darby. You sound like you're quoting a teenager's poem for the school arts festival. Since when are you the kind of punk that waxes philosophical in the status of loneliness and torment in the human mind?
Well, poetry helps me express my feelings that can't be communicated through yelling at people and punching furniture. You should try it sometime. It can help.
I don't need help. I just need to sit.
Whatever.
Here you go. Maybe this will make you feel better. Just calm down a bit, alright?
I don't want you to freak out again.
Oh, don't baby him. Just let him panic. I mean, it's not like it won't happen again, so why fight what's inevitable?
Christ, Mom. This is your son.
Yeah, Mom, that was really not okay.
Guys, it's okay. He's right.
Sorry, I'm tired. I need a break. It's hard to focus on whether that door is going to open at any time, or not, without getting a little wary. Is it getting hot in here?
No kidding. I am sweating up a storm in here.
Well, maybe if you took off that leather jacket, you wouldn't feel so hot all the time. You don't have to wear that thing every second of every day.
Well, I'm sorry if it's the only way I feel comfortable nowadays. I keep the jacket on.
And I say take it off.
On.
Off.
On.
Off.
On.
Off.
On.
Shut up! Shut up, all of you!
On.
Oh, that's it! I'm leaving! No, Amber! You can't leave. You have to stay.
Milo.
Please,
Milo,
relax.
relax.
Please.
Sit down. You're gonna lose it again.
Yeah, just listen to Darby. Calm down.
I know. I'll put on some relaxing music, and maybe that will help calm our nerves, okay? We just sit down. That's the music, right?
Father, just let him panic! I mean, it's not like you won't have him. And just let him go to prison!
You know what, Mother? How about you finally let us go? After years of holding us with you like we're the only buoys that can keep you from drowning in the lake that's your loneliness. Do you think it was fun being in prison? They mocked me, pushed me around, threatened me with knives in the lunch line. And I was one of the lucky ones. At least I don't have stitches lining my stomach like a taxidermy experiment. 10 years of memories like that. I can hardly remember the few before that. Like they've disintegrated to dust in my mind. And you can't even give me the grace of visiting me even once in prison! Even Amber would have visited me if you hadn't tried to make her forget all about me. At least she had the decency to treat me as her brother, to recognize me as a human being. Do you really want to treat me like some day-old gum stuck to the bottom of your shoe just because I robbed some smokes from a liquor store at my lowest point?
Well, how do you think it felt seeing you child and hysteric as the judge sentenced you away. I always wanted you to be the good one. It wasn't like Darby was going to accomplish anything. You and Amber were my only hopes. And now, what do I have? Only her. If I can even say that anymore. For cigarettes! Were you trying to destroy me? Were you trying to cause your mother distress?
You want to know what really happened that night? Fine, I'll really tell you. It was my 3rd year in college. Things were getting restless. Everyone was going home for the summer, but I had no home to go to. You locked yourself up at night. Amber was still only 12, and Darby was always busy staying at the punk homes on 28th Street. So there I was, completely alone 4 states over. Completely alone. It's kind of hard to make new friends. You can hardly even talk to your own family. I only had $150 in my bank account. I was walking around at 2 in the morning, and I find a glowing beacon. Gun store. I walk in, and I find a quality pistol. A really nice model, for cheap. So I purchase it, and walk out of the store with a brand new pistol in my hands. And at first, I'm not sure what to do with it. So I have the idea to just, you know. But then I see the corner store, fronted by a board worker who couldn't have been more than 19. And I mean, what is crime but a way of releasing your own pent-up anger? So I walk in and I pull the gun on him. But all I needed was some smokes, something to calm my nerves. I thought I ran up the scene fast enough. They must have had one of those buttons to press to alert the cops when they were being robbed. In 5 minutes, I was in the back of a police car. When they gave me my one call, I panicked and I called you. And what did you do when you heard your little boy crying over the phone, yelling on how much he wanted to be back in your arms, just how much he wanted to be back home? I hung up. And I didn't hear from you again until you showed up at the trial.
And you think that's anything? You think telling the whole story will change anything? It's just a way of generating sympathy for yourself. You are so self-absorbed. How can you be so thoughtless?
How can I be so thoughtless? How can you be so thoughtless? How can you turn your son going to prison for nearly a third of his life into a sense of suffering on your end? What sheer sense of not sensing anyone around you does it take to reach that point? If the man told you the moon was exploding, you'd be too busy telling him to clean the dirt from under his fingernails. How about you take a look around you, Mom? Realize you've messed up just as much as any of us.
Well, how do you think about losing one of the 3 people that actually stayed in my life anymore? After Dad left, none of my friends wanted to stay friends with me. None of my friends wanted to be friends with a single mother. I was treated like a containment project, like I was too dangerous for the real world. Do you know how they treat you out there? Even if you're a little different, they tear you apart. I couldn't lose someone else, and this is how you pay me back. This is how you treat your mother, who gave birth to you. The one who took care of you up until the day you left for college. What is wrong with you? What happened to my son? The one that would hug me every day when I pick him up from school. What happened to my sweet young son? The one that loved me more than life itself. I need a cigarette. Don't try to lie to me. I smelled it when I walked in here earlier. Nervous family.
But can't you just see? This is exactly what abusive parents do. They turn the family against one child and then manipulate the qualities of the argument to make that one member seem like they're always in the wrong. It's plain and simple corruption of thought. Is any of this even real? Is that even coming? Am I actually here? Oh my God!
Don't listen to him, kids! He's just freaking out again! It's what he does! He's trying to make you feel bad for him! Classic trick on your brain!
Mom, I don't think that's true. I think this is pretty serious. We might need to get him to the hospital. Amber, you have the car outside, right?
Yeah, do you need me to start it up?
Fine! Just leave him here! I mean, he was the one that was so desperate to see his father, so why take him anywhere?
You know what, Mom? Milo was right. You don't really actually care about us anymore, do you? You just want this idea of how you can keep someone by your side for as long as possible. Stop trying to control us at every moment, and maybe stuff like this wouldn't happen. Maybe that's why Dad left you. You ever think?
Why don't you just leave town? All those years taking care of you, and this is what happens. You just constantly complain about how the system wants to control you and all your rebellious friends. When really, all it wants to do is try to find some way for you to actually function in everyday society. Why don't you actually get a job instead of sitting on the couch day in and day out, hoping that something magical will happen? Well, guess what? It won't.
Mom, you're getting a little riled up. Maybe you should calm down. Maybe I could fix you some tea?
Stop trying to help everyone. We know you don't really care. You're just trying to look good so we can gain places in the business world. Since you know that the system is designed to throw fun and chuck you under the bus. You are so scared of being buried under your own self-hatred. The same hatred for yourself, for everyone you love, and for women like you that try to find a way how to fall out of the little hole in the dirt that you dug for yourself. Every grasp of dirt you make, you just drag more soil around you, filling the space around you, until you choke on your own effort to exceed and anyone.
Maybe we are failures. Amber, you can't let her words get to you like that. I know how bad it hurts to hear stuff like that from Mom, but this is how she's always been. Manipulating us, pitting us against each other. We can't let this happen to us.
She's been doing this for years, though. She wanted to keep us away from each other. She thought we were dangerous for each other.
Well, she was wrong. We need each other to survive. What can we do on our own?
Well, isn't that a scary thought? What if all of us would be so much happier if we didn't have each other? Is this what a boat feels like when it starts sinking?
Amber, Dar, I need you guys. Sometimes you guys need me. Besides, we're a family. Isn't it our job to try to achieve at least some sense of stability?
I mean, what if the family is the instability? We all have to leave home sometime.
Well, then why don't you?
Been here too long. Outside is scary.
I think I'm just gonna leave.
It's just us two now.
Darby, why didn't you ever tell me you were gay?
Well, I just thought you'd never accept me for it. I thought you'd stop talking to me, and you know how scary that can be when people you love start disappearing.
Darb, you know I would never do that. You know you always have me on your side, no matter what.
No, but things don't really feel the same anymore, do they?
I don't think I'm exactly sure what you mean.
Well, I mean, look at this house. This house used to have character, a sense of purpose. The walls used to be covered in art that Mom did when she was young, and photos Dad would take as a kid, and just even knickknacks that they would collect. This house used to feel like it could just start walking down the street at any moment, humming a merry tune. Now look at it. All the art's gone. We don't even have a TV anymore. It's just a piece of crap record player. You know, I really wish that things could go back to the way they were before all this life crap got in the way. I'm off to the bar.
Wait, really? Right now?
Look, I just really need to get this whole day out of my head, no matter how many drinks it takes.
Well, I guess this is the end. The moment in which we only have one character. Trying to figure out all the underlying messages and what happened. But really, what's the point? What's the point in analysis when everything's bottomed out so far that no floor is even visible? In the end, the system of love and hate and abuse becomes an involuntary circle. One that bends ever so slightly until it's a spiral, slowly going downwards. We all end up one day, left unused in the corners of our home, with a box full of wires. And soon, we too end up tangled, unusable, and forgotten. Just like all great things. I guess that's not coming. Maybe some other time.
it is. The first person, of course, is one of our brand new student directors, Hannah Bixler. She directed No Exit, the first play you saw.
Sound cue wasn't planned.
Secondly, of course, the director of my play called Dad Finally Came Back with His Pack of Smokes, and the writer for the play, Henry Monteiro.